poster car. We all have that red turn on our wall. Very few cars have ever achieved that.
What do you think of the smartness?
I love it. They were inspired by my Curtis Pritchard, which were the pinnacle of their racing division at the time, and very popular with people who wanted to own their racing cars.
They were a very costly factory conversion, weren't they?
Yeah, an amazing evolution between 77 and 82. Those cars were developed beyond all recognition.
What about this one, the one with Martini stripes?
Yeah, I love it. It's a celebrating association with Martini. All these limited editions out with the Martini stripes and special interiors. Great to see the car here.
And look at this one, what do you make of that?
Well, that's a special. Very interesting. Again, built to emulate the cars that were having so much success on track, the GT2. Fantastic looking thing, and what a colour.
There's been so many variants of this, haven't there? I mean, you've got coupe, cabriolet, targa, buttons, wine body.
Incredible, yeah. I mean, we did it when started. A 260 horsepower, 4-speed turbo 1974. And if you bought one, in Britain at least, you have to spend a day with either Nick Ford or Tony Dron to have a driving tuition because they were so worried that people might kill themselves.
It's great, isn't it? The spoilers, the turbo back in the 70s, that first turbo, had these massive arches, bulbous arches, and a whale tail picnic table. It's got a picnic table to it.
Yeah, again, it all came from racing. 1974, the 2.1 RSM turbo with its massive wings and big tyres, and it was all about presenting what they sold, what they raced to what they sold on the weekends.
But it came sort of aerodynamics, so that kind of went out the window. You had more power in the car, so it needed fatter tyres. So fatter tyres, it just pushed the bodywork out.
Exactly, yeah. Aerodynamics were very much in their infancy. The spoilers as wings, they're not wings, they're spoilers. It's an entirely different kettle of fish.
So the spoilers in the early 70s ones, I mean, they were designed to keep the weight on the back one.
Well, they were designed to split the airflow to stop it, which is different to generating downforce. Where some of these later cars, you see these later iterations, that's a sort of a mix in the spoiler and actually a downforce generating wing.
It's great to see all the colours, of course, as well as they're really vibrant colours. So you can yellows, oranges, lime greens, you name it.
It's amazing how they're all coming back as well.
What quiet.
Interestingly, with the turbos, they're not as noisy as their normal aspirated counterparts. Volume of a normal aspirated RSR.
They are very cute. So what have we got here? We've got 930s. 996.
That's a great colour, the dark green, quite rare.
Yeah, it's really quite amazing seeing this many together, isn't it?
I think it's fantastic. Brilliant effort, and thank you to all the owners for turning up and participating.
I'm just wondering where the line stops, but it carries on and on.
For 50 years is worth celebrating.
But if you look at the Porsche stand this year, their back wall celebrates 50 years. They've got a new 992 Turbo S on the stand there, 640 brake horsepower. They've got the Taycan Turbo next to it, the electric EV, 670 horsepower. Electric Porsche.
Well, no comment. I'm a petrol man, I think they were produced in 74, but they weren't the first German manufacturer to make a turbo. That goes to the which is a complete flop. After so much success with the 917 in America.
This is, looking at this is quite an incredible display. Now, I didn't realise, I think we have exactly, well, we have 51 or 52 Porsches today. It's quite an incredible collection of cars.
It is incredible. It's great to see it in the sunshine. You obviously bathe the same dogs as the Duke of Richmond.
Yeah, well, funny enough, this morning when I was working out how to welcome people this morning, I was sort of thinking, I was going to say very warm welcome to anyone. I wasn't quite sure how far I should stretch with a warm welcome, but we have been blessed with sunshine today, I'm pleased to say.
it's an often underrated car, the 996. I still think it looks fantastic.
And they keep coming. And we've got the pensioners out here as well, driving them through.
They're going round and round. There seem to be so many. So what we save of these cars as they come through and park up, we slow down a bit, so I shall try and film it. It's funny that I was looking last night, the first production turbo was an American car with an old Oldsmobile jet car in 1962. And it was awful. Amazing to think in a relatively short period of time we got to the 911 turbo, which literally became the car to define this generation with performance that, although humble by modern standards, at the time was quite revolutionary. And then there was the fabled turbo lag, which I think was often over-exaggerated, but in the wrong hands, if you didn't anticipate it, could obviously make the car quite a handful and difficult to control, which is why you have to do a driving course when you purchase one of these things. Another great car in a rare colour, nice to see that. And still they come. I must admit, I'm not as au fait with the later models. This is a great livery with the turbo written in the script on the back wheels, which is an optional extra at the time. Surprisingly quite rare given how nice it looks. Interesting as well that the very first cars introduced they thought about the performance, but they didn't really think about the brakes. So the first models in 74, 75 and into 76 had the 2.7 RS brakes, which were rather not up to the job. And what didn't take them long before they fixed that one, because the car was dramatically under brakes in those early days. A lot. I'm not that good at mental arithmetic, but many times. Yes, the 993 coming through, the last of the air-cooled turbo cars. Sorry? Yes, Polar Silver. Okay. So this is Polar Silver, which has got a bit of blue in it, and this is Arctic Silver, which has got a bit of grey in it. There's a bit of trivia for it.
So air-cooled and water-cooled. Water-cooled came in because of emissions, because of heating, didn't it? So they wanted more power, so they needed to bring the heat down. Air couldn't do it fast enough.
Yeah, it was a mixture of increased power output and meeting Euro regulations, which were becoming more and more stringent. The weird thing is, with a noise test, it's measuring vibration, which is what your ears measure. So a noise test will always make an air-cooled class look on the meter more noisy than it actually is, to make it difficult to get through the test anyway. I know that if you think back to 993, how much development went into the 993 with its 10-month extension. It was a complete departure from the original 911, and it was only in production for a very brief time. For 6 years, I doubt they got their investment back, but it did lay the ground for what we see today in the later cars.
I was going to say, it has been, it just made it fast sort of starting.
I'd say it defined the generation. The car came along, came out of the blue, Porsche had been developing in the background, launched it in Paris to a massive fanfare, and some surprise in the auto industry. I think some manufacturers thought they were crazy, particularly a Porsche, it soon became a favourite with their customers. This is a car that, if you went to Le Mans, you could see them, and on that day you could go to the showroom and be in something very similar. Yeah, so 964's coming through now.
This was the car in Bad Boys, wasn't it? The Bad Boys Porsche.
Exactly, and the very last car that had a direct link to the first 911s in 1965. That, in terms of timescale, that's a colossal amount of technical development in a relatively short time.
So the engines went from 3 litre to 3.3 to 3.6.
Yeah.
And then up, and then eventually ultimately back down to 3 litres.
Yeah, some of the racing versions, GT2 Evos were 2 plug and 3.8. But most of the road cars at that period stopped at 4 coming down again in terms with, again with emissions, and we can get more power now out of smaller displacements. I think most of the turbos now are 3 litre, I believe.
Yeah, I mean, so many of the cars on the lawn have, 3 litre twin turbo V6s in various stages of tuning, anything between 4 to 600, 700 brake horsepower.
Yeah, we've learned a lot about turbocharging, and modern electronics mean that you can push these engines to the very limit without danger of affecting reliability, and it is amazing.
Well, you don't get the lag anymore, do you? That's sort of putting your foot down and waiting for something to happen, and then all of a sudden...
Twin turbo's gone a long way to doing that, but systems, and it's now a much more civilised beast, but still I think you jump in one of these cars on it, that low to mid range is absolutely addictive. That shove forward is like God bowled a bowling ball. It's a great feeling. I think that's what people get addicted to. Not that I'm encouraging anyone to break the speed limit, of course. So, this black car, I'm not sure what year this one. What year is this car? Oh, 1980, so a 3.3 4-speed. In the mid-80s, they changed the gearbox up to the G50 spec, and in 1989, for a very short period, the turbo got a 5-speed gearbox. But then that was rapidly replaced by the 964. We've got a cabriolet coming along, and they make the turbo an all-body style, and I thought we won't have that one handle here, but it would be a target turbo, certainly the original. But target always seems to have been the lowest seller for some reason. So I don't get people said that. So I think they're quite taste, but they're still special. I think we're getting towards the end of the line now. Again, good music cars, cabriolet. Another 930, 996.
I'll tell you about the one at the end of the minute.
Okay.
That is quite some parade of cars. A Porsche 911 turbos. What a way to celebrate 50 years of this superstar.
I wonder if we'll make another 50, right? We'll see.
I'd like to be around and see.
That's ambitious.
Exactly. Got a dream big, haven't you?
Yes, indeed. Be optimistic. This is interesting. I'm interested in that.
So the last car as it comes through is not part of the parade as such, but it is a turbo. It is a 992 S turbo. It is a Brabus 820R. So basically, for those of you that don't know, Brabus is a German brand. Started life many years ago as a German tuning brand. Boden Bushman, the guy that owned the company, he was a racer, and in order to compete successfully, he tuned his own cars. Started doing it with Mercedes, did it so successfully that ultimately he was issued with manufacturer status by the German authorities. Fast forward to today, it's run by his son, Konstantin Bushman. The guys are basically manufacturers. They take Porsches, they take Mercedes, they take So now we're going to start the first of the Automotive Brands Parade. As I said earlier on, we've got everything on the lawn from electric cars, electric off-road cars, hyper SUVs, hyper electric SUVs, modified cars, supercars, hypercars, all sorts of different things. That's the first car that you can see coming through today now is from Electric. Electric are pioneers and engineers of EV.
This video is powered by Food Heaven. It's all plant-based foods. Go try it out.